Welcome back to Knowledge Haven, where we believe knowledge is a service and sharing it empowers all of us. I'm your host, Lisa Sims, CEO of Knowledge Hive. Today's episode is one I've been wanting to make for a long time because it speaks to a truth that millions of people are feeling, but not enough people are talking about. The truth is that professional success isn't what your parents told you. For decades, we've been sold a myth about what it means to make it. The myth suggests attend school, pursue a respectable career, climb the ladder, accumulate titles, and try not to burn out along the way. But under the surface, something huge has changed. There's a quiet revolution happening, one that's shaping the professional world from the inside out. It's a shift towards purpose, autonomy, identity, and meaning over traditional milestones like job titles, yearly promotions, or how long you have to stay with a company. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain on that revolution. What's fueling it, what it means for you, and the real secret to thriving in 2025 might have nothing to do with climbing the ladder anymore and everything to do with designing a life that actually fits you. So let's get to it. So what we were told success would look like when we grew up is all the same version of the same script. Maybe your parents said it gently, or maybe it was even an unspoken family expectation, but the message was clear. Success means stability. Stability means staying in one place, and staying in one place means loyalty to a company or a career or a path you pick, and then you stick to it forever. So in the 80s and the 90s, that script kind of made sense. A degree, any degree, it didn't matter. It could be basket weaving, was a guaranteed ticket to a solid paychecks, and pensions existed. Companies actually invested in people long term. Loyalty went both ways. But something changed. As technology accelerated, markets globalized, and companies began restructuring faster than people could update their resumes. The old model cracked. People found themselves doing everything right and still getting laid off, burning out way before 30, realizing they had climbed the ladder that was leaning against the wrong wall all along, and choosing jobs that looked good on paper but left them emotionally empty. We weren't taught how to adapt to that reality. We were taught how to endure it. And that's where the cracks in the old story began. The quiet revolution really began around 2018. Something really subtle started to happen. It wasn't loud, didn't make headlines, but it began to grow, and people began asking different questions. What if success isn't about impressing anyone? What if money isn't the only metric that matters? What if I want a life, not just a lifestyle? What if I could build something that feels like mine? Then 2020 hit, COVID, and it didn't just accelerate these questions, it put them on basically on a loudspeaker. In isolations, millions of professionals had time to think. For the first time in decades, people weren't just workers, they were parents and caretakers and creators, individuals forced to reconsider what really mattered. And by 2022, we saw the great resignation, the great reassessment, quiet quitting, career downsizing, and work-life integration movements. Here's the important part. All that surface level, the headlines were noisy, the revolution underneath was still really quiet. The real revolution is this. People have redefined what success looks like for themselves, not for the company, for their family, not for LinkedIn, but for themselves. And that shift is rewriting the professional world in 2025. So let's break down the actual forces behind this movement, because this isn't a trend, it's structural. The first force is kind of the rise of purpose economics. And what I mean by that is we've kind of moved into a world where identity and meaning matter as much as income. People want work that aligns with who they are, autonomy in how they spend their time, and a sense of contribution, and to be a part of something bigger than revenue targets, for instance. Purpose isn't a fluffy concept, it's now an economic driver. Organizations with strong mission clarity are outperforming those that don't have it. And individuals are choosing roles that reflect their values, even if it pays a little bit lower. Purpose is now currency. Force 2 is the flexibility mandate. Work is no longer a place you go, it's a thing that you do. Remote, hybrid, asynchronous, freelance, fractional, portfolio careers. People aren't just wanting flexibility, they're designing their entire professional identity around it. Time has become a form of wealth. Control over time is the new social status. The ability to say, I work on my terms, is now the ultimate achievement for many. The third force is kind of an identity shift. For decades, your job title was your identity. I'm a lawyer, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a manager, or I'm an engineer. But now, people don't want to be defined by a single professional box. They're stretching out and they're becoming more like an analyst and an artist, marketer and podcaster, teachers that are also on the side entrepreneurs, and engineers that are creators. Leaders are parents and advocates. Identity is expanding. And when identity expands, the definition of success actually expands with it. Let's bring this down to earth with some real examples of how people are living this quiet revolution. Many of these examples came from discussions with some of our amazing knowledge hivers. Might as well go to the best source for information. So the first use case, basically a purpose-seeking professional. She's a 40-year-old corporate strategist, and she left her high-paying job because she wanted to do work that felt more meaningful to her. She didn't retire. She reinvented herself. She became a fractional leader, all pretty much for mission-driven startups, using the same skills as she had, but now with a deeper purpose and more agency. She earns a good income. She works fewer hours, makes a little less, but she contributes to something that energizes her, makes her want to get up in the morning. The second use case is a portfolio professional. This gentleman was a software engineer that quit the idea of a dream company and built his own dream portfolio instead. He does 20 hours a week on contract work, 10 hours building a side project per week, and 5 hours consulting. Weekend content creation brings passive income for him as well. No longer relies on an employer, and ironically, he's actually making a little bit more money than he was at his full-time job because he's so diversified. And then the third case is kind of a value-driven leader. She's a VP at a major firm that negotiated a role at her job that leads initiatives that align with environmental sustainability, not because she had to, because she could. She brought her values to work and is basically reshaping her job around her values. And she provides consulting services for startups on the side via Knowledge Hive. So let's talk about how this affects you, wherever you are in your professional journey. There are 3 truths worth paying attention to. Truth number 1 is success isn't a straight line anymore. No one's career moves in perfect steps upward, not in 2025. Real careers look more like a messy map. You try something, you learn, you switch directions, you slow down, you speed up, take a break, and you come back stronger. We used to think of careers like ladders, climbing one rung at a time, but now they're more like living ecosystems. They grow, shift, adapt, and sometimes surprise you. Truth number 2 is that skills matter now more than titles. Titles used to be the benchmark for credibility, but now people care more about what you can do than what you're called. That means you can reinvent yourself at any time, over and over again. And then the third truth is you're allowed to choose what matters to you. You get to pick the lifestyle, the work cadence, your identity, your values, and, the professional story that you want to live. This revolution isn't about quitting your job. It's about reclaiming your narrative. If you remember nothing else from this episode, remember this. The people thriving in 2025 aren't the ones with the flashiest resumes. They're the ones who understand themselves deeply enough to build a professional life based on who they are, not who someone else told them to be. This is actually the real revolution. Success isn't about climbing, it's about aligning. When your work aligns with your values, your skills, curiosity, your rhythms, your purpose, success becomes natural, not forced, not performative, not exhausting, just true and true to yourself. Thank you for joining me today for this deep dive into the quiet revolution. If today's episode sparked something in you, or if it made you question your path or feel seen in your own internal shift, you're not alone. This movement is happening everywhere. And now, hopefully, you're part of it. Whether you've taken the leap or whether you're just beginning to imagine something different, you're on your way after watching this podcast. And if you're a business that needs the type of individuals I've discussed today on this episode to help you in your business, or if you are one of these people that want to help other businesses, we would love to have you at knowledgehive.co. Knowledge Hive is an on-demand marketplace for top-tier professionals who are willing to share what they know with others who really need their expertise. If you're looking for help, you're a seeker, and if you're offering help, you're a hiver. If you love this episode, share it with someone who's also reimagining their next chapter. Keep questioning, keep exploring, keep building the future on your own terms. Again, I'm Lisa Sims. I'd love to hear your freelance or consulting journey stories, or put your thoughts and your comments on this topic below. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or at knowledgehive.co. New episodes drop every week, so don't forget to subscribe. Ring the dang bell, you know the drill. And if you haven't already, go create a free profile on knowledgehive.co. Until next time, we are Knowledge Hive, and we are Knowledge as a Service.